Wouldn't have been my first call. But down in the real world, we're faced with ugly choices. I'm on mission.
What mission?
Peace in our time.
When we're chatting about who might step into Iron Man's shoes, there are some big names floating around, like Morgan Stark, War Machine, Pepper Potts, Iron Lad, and Ironheart. But hold on to your hat, because here's a name you might not have considered: Arno Stark. He could be the next big thing the MCU is looking for in an Iron Man replacement. And guess who fans on Reddit are rooting for to play the part? None other than Bill Skarsgård. Now, if you didn't know, Tony Stark has a brother. You aren't the only one. In this video, we're diving into the world of siblings in the Marvel Universe. Make sure you stick around until the very end to find out why Tony Stark's family situation is often considered the worst in Marvel. But first, who is Arno Stark? Arno Stark isn't your run-of-the-mill hero. He's actually the biological son of Howard and Maria Stark. But here's the twist. Tony Stark, the guy we all know as Iron Man, was actually adopted by the Starks as a cover-up. Yeah, it's a little complicated. Arno himself is no ordinary kid either. He's super smart, thanks to some help from a Rigelian, and he's got a special mission to push Earth into a whole new era of technology. So if you're feeling a bit lost, don't worry, you're not alone. Arno Stark's backstory is definitely one of the weirdest in the Marvel Universe. Arno Stark's journey kicks off with a pretty wild ride involving Tony's folks. Now, while most soon-to-be parents are busy picking out cute onesies and assembling cribs, Howard and Maria had a slightly more pressing matter on their hands, fending off an alien invasion by the Greys. But Howard, being the resourceful guy he was, didn't just sit back and panic. Nope, he reached out to someone who could potentially save the day: Recorder 451, also known as a Rigelian recorder. This cosmic being had a knack for navigating the stars and had some big ideas for Earth's future. You see, Recorder 451 saw Earth as a prime candidate to join forces with other intergalactic civilizations, all while keeping an eye on pesky threats like the Greys. So, while most parents-to-be are just worried about picking out the perfect name, Howard and Maria were busy negotiating Earth's place in the cosmos. Parenthood really does bring out the multitasker in people. So Recorder 451, the cosmic brainiac, drops some truth bombs on Howard Stark. Basically, he warns that Earth's tech game isn't cutting it, and if things don't level up fast, we're toast, either conquered or obliterated by some super advanced alien squad. But fear not, because Recorder 451 isn't just the bearer of bad news, he's also got a plan. It involves some serious sci-fi stuff, genetically modifying a kid to be a tech prodigy. This superchild would have the smarts and skills to catapult Earth's tech scene centuries ahead, all within a few decades. Now, you might be thinking, whoa, that's a lot for a baby to handle. And you'd be right. But according to Recorder 451, Howard's bundle of joy is the perfect candidate for this genetic makeover. So after some serious contemplation and probably a few sleepless nights, Howard takes the plunge, agreeing to have his child transformed into a futuristic tech whiz. So here's where things get really twisty. Tony Stark grows up believing he's the supercharged kid, the one genetically souped up to save the world. I mean, can you blame him? His parents never drop a hint that he's anything but their flesh and blood. They don't even breathe a word about Arno, Tony's biological brother, because of the heartbreaking circumstances surrounding his birth. You see, when Arno came into the world, things weren't exactly peachy. He was born paralyzed, his body just not playing ball with him. His brain worked fine, but he was basically stuck in a vegetative state. And to top it all off, he had this ticking time bomb of a condition. Howard figured he wouldn't make it to adulthood. Howard, heartbroken and probably kicking himself for unleashing this mess, realizes that Arno's state was likely the result of all that genetic meddling. And here's the kicker, there's no way to undo it. So, what's a parent to do? Howard and Maria make a gut-wrenching decision. They put Arno in hospice care, ensuring he gets the best medical attention, and they adopt a baby around the same age, Tony, to keep up appearances. It's a heartbreaking move, but in their minds, it's the only way to keep the cosmic peace and protect their family's legacy. So, after years of Tony Stark rocking the Iron Man suit, Recorder 451 drops a major bombshell. Turns out, that whole genetic makeover thing wasn't about turning Howard's kid into a tech guru. It was about creating a walking, talking doomsday weapon. Yeah, you heard me right. Howard Stark's child was basically engineered to be the ultimate cosmic nuke, strapped into a suit called the godkiller armor. Now, Tony, being the hero he is, isn't too keen on the idea of being a walking apocalypse. He's all about using tech for good, not blowing up planets and whatnot. But when push comes to shove and he finally tries on the godkiller suit, things go totally haywire. Turns out, Tony can't even get the thing to budge. It's like he's trying to fly a brick. It just ain't happening. And here's the kicker. That whole Tony is Howard's biological son thing? Total bunk. The godkiller suit won't even respond to him, which means he's not the child Recorder 451 had in mind. Talk about a major plot twist. So much for cosmic family secrets and world-ending armor. Looks like Recorder 451's grand plan just went up in smoke. While Tony Stark has been flying around in his Iron Man suit, Arno Stark has been laying low in a hospital bed, slowly but surely working his way back to health. See, Arno's a bit of a tech whiz himself, and he's not about to let a little thing like paralysis keep him down. Using his own inventions, he gradually fixes himself up, improving his quality of life one gadget at a time. Eventually, he even crafts himself an exoskeleton that lets him walk again. But Arno's not just focused on his own recovery. Nope, he's got bigger plans brewing. In Iron Man 2020, we finally get to see what makes Arno tick. He spends his spare time performing some seriously high-tech surgery, using his biotech wizardry to heal folks and untangle the messy relationship between humans and technology. Now, here's where things get interesting. Arno's not just book smart, he's streets ahead of Tony in the brains department. He's pretty convinced that he could solve problems that took Tony years to crack in a fraction of the time. But hey, that doesn't mean he doesn't respect his adopted brother. In fact, he kinda looks up to Tony, admiring the impact he's had on the world despite not even knowing Arno existed. Arno Stark might be a genius when it comes to tech, but when it comes to people skills, let's just say he's not winning any awards for charm. Unlike Tony, who's got that smooth-talking, quick-witted vibe going on, Arno's more like the awkward genius who's a bit too blunt for his own good. He's called in to perform surgery on a world-renowned violinist who lost an arm, and while he nails the procedure, he's about as pleasant as a wet blanket the whole time. Tony might be a bit obnoxious and full of himself, but at least he's got that charisma and charm to balance it out. Arno, on the other hand, can come across as cynical and downright condescending, which, let's be honest, doesn't exactly make him Mr. Popular. And when you look at Arno's backstory, it's easy to see why he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. I mean, imagine spending your childhood stuck in a hospital bed with no one but your own thoughts for company. Sure, his parents didn't forget about him, but being kept a secret and sidelined for so long, that's bound to mess with anyone's head. So yeah, while Arno's got the brains to rival Tony's, his lack of social graces and troubled upbringing might just be his Achilles heel. Makes you wonder, is he destined to be a hero, or could he end up going down a darker path? Well, that's it for today. For now, make sure that you like our video. Please share your views in the comments section with us. Subscribe to the channel to get updated, and do not forget to hit the bell icon to never miss an update. Thanks so much for watching our video today, and we will see you at the next one.